Inakoja Tonga Nguvu, I go by the name of Ochino, the only Kenyan is a man, a boy, and also a friend. And of course, when you see us on a sit down, unajua because you requested to have this sit down, and sisi tumekuwa obliged kutafuta Nick, tumtafute tukane hapa hivi chini. He's one of the few people wenye tumewajua through Bunge La Mwananchi platform, a platform that imechangia kugrow very many leaders who are coming up, who are articulating the issues of the common mwananchi, civic education. And today we have one of them mwenye amerudi for a second time. Nick, shukran kwa kuja.
Thank you so much.
First of all, before tuanze sana, maybe there are 2 or 3 people when you wanna watch for the first time now, could you maybe can introduce yourself to them?
Okay. Viewers, my name is Nicholas Galgalo. I'm a member of Bunge La Mwananchi Jivanji, and I'm vying for the position of national coordinator. And we are voting on Friday 29th, and I really hope I'm going to win with a very big margin.
Yeah. For the Bunge La Mwananchi platform, before we even get into the national politics side, for the Bunge La Mwananchi platform, maybe you can tell us what are some of the roles that you'll be doing if at all you'll be elected for the coordinator.
Being a national coordinator, Ochino, Bunge La Mwananchi Jivanji is an umbrella of majority all the people's assemblies which are there. For instance, there is Bunge La Mwananchi in Githurai, there is another one in Roysambu, there is another one in Jacaranda, mahali nimekuwa yesterday. There are some in Mombasa, Changamwe. I've been there 2 weeks ago. There is another one in Changamwe, a place called Bangladesh. Then there is another one in Mtwapa and Changamwe. So hizo zote na Tononoka pia. So hizo ni Bunge La Mwananchi ambazo ziko. Hata hiyo ya Jacaranda ambayo unaonanga, it is one of the branches of Jivanji. So when you assume the role of the national coordinator and you are voted in by the people who are registered at the national place at Jivanji, then you are assumed the national coordinator of all the Bunge La Mwananchi in Kenya. So it is just a platform that if I'll be elected as the national coordinator, my job will just be to coordinate the issues of the people, because we have to ensure that we align our policies. We ensure that what is being discussed is an issue-based discussion. It should not be a discussion of personalities. It should not be a discussion to bring balkanization of communities. It should not be discussion to configure ethnic groupings. It should be a place whereby ideas are being generated, and it should be a place where bills that are being generated and even disseminated to parliament, so that with the best interest of ensuring that our country is growing and we transform our country the way it should be. Yeah.
Sasa, and also from Story na Ochino family, we want to wish all the best.
Thank you very
in the
much.
upcoming elections.
Okay.
I've interacted with you, and personally I think you're a person who has values, you're a person of integrity, and I'm sure when you clinch that seat, itakuwa in the safest hands.
I will.
Yeah. So let's now go into the national politics now. The national bunge, the National Assembly. The 13th Parliament finds itself in a position where a lot of parliaments have not found themselves, in that it's divided. It has been divided almost ever since they were elected in Parliament. There's the confusion of, is it Azimio who was the majority, or is it UDA and the Kenya Kwanza who are the majority? There's now the issue that the president came out loudly and boldly saying that this 13th Parliament has some elements who are very corrupt. And he said that he won't mention them, but he's going ahead to arrest them. First of all, the 13th Parliament, why do you think it has been under a lot of scrutiny, unlike other previous parliaments?
Okay, that's a very good question. You see, the 13th Parliament, it is a parliament in which the entirely majority of the people who are there are projects of some people. Number 2, majority of the people were voted in emotionally. All right. Then number 3 is that most of these people, most of them are just charlatans. They do not know their functions in parliament. You saw the function of an MP or a senator as issues like representation, legislation, and oversight. So are these people doing legislation in the right way? I have heard most of their discussions that they are having. They are speaking about issues which does not affect the people in any way. Most of them are just in parliament to brag. They are living in opulence. And living in opulence is not a mistake because you have money. But you should not show the people who are suffering. Number 3, these people are supposed to do the oversight. But you see, oversight role should be done by the National Assembly, and the Senate should oversight our counties. But you see, we are in a situation whereby for instance, in senators and our counties, there is a marriage between the governor and the Senate. So they are not doing anything. You see, issues like corruption have been devolved. Corruption imeenda in our in our counties. Our governors are stealing the money of Kenyans left, right, and center. All right? Oversight role in the National Assembly. Most of the National Assembly people, like MPs, these guys were voted in based on their political parties. And I think voting our MPs based on political parties is actually hemorrhaging our national resources. It is bleeding our counties. Baya sana. You see, these guys are bleeding our government. For instance, ukiangalia juzi, the president has talked about the issues of corruption. Wanasema, they are saying that we have MPs, or rather senators, who are in talks with governors, so they are given some money, and I think that is the reality. It is happening. But these guys wanaanza kuambia the president, sema watu majina. Juzi the president has formed this team called MAT-WAC, multi-agency team war against corruption. So inaitwa MAT-WAC. And to be on record, Ochino, it is not the first time. Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta is actually the postulator of that acronym. Aliform in 2018, around March 2018, is the one who formed that MAT. But yake ilikuwa inaitwa multi-agency team task, MATT. So, but it was not implemented. So what is happening is that William Ruto, the president, is actually just trying to implement what was on the wardrobe of the State House. So, but you see, the MPs are fighting back. But I believe that we are failing as a country. It is not just the government. It is not the president. It is not the senators. Even we, the voters of this country, we are voting. We are failing a lot. We are really failing our country because our the only imperative that we have as a citizen is that we are supposed to elect people based on their personalities, based on their history, based on their discipline, consistency to the people, working for the people. But at the end of the day, we vote based on what like somebody who is a kingpin. For instance, where I come from, Rift Valley, majority of the people, 90% will vote based on the lineup of the president. Majority of the people, na umeangalia pale hata Nyanza, majority of the people are voting based on what Raila Amolo Odinga is directing, or political parties. And I think it's a mistake that we have as a country. The reason as to why that is happening, I think most of the political parties, unajua our constitution inatuambia kuwa for you to pass a bill in parliament, lazima ukuwe na 50% plus one. So you see, these party leaders are pushing their people ambao wako on the ground. And most of these people are charlatans. There are people who are wanafanya biashara mbovu mbovu in Kenya. These are the people who are just in parliament. They do not know what they are supposed to do. They are not working for the people. They are working for political parties and the people who are financing them. Because we have billionaires in this country who are not vying for any political position, but they speak a lot when it comes to political alignments. Yeah.
But do you think in this parliament we have seen almost the highest number of first-term MPs than any other parliament? Is that one of the reasons that has caused this parliament to, as you said, it's like they're not doing the function, or they don't know the function? Is it one of the reasons? Because maybe people are saying that the executive has pocketed this 13th parliament. Could it be because most of the parliamentarians are first-term MPs?
I really agree. Because you see, for instance, I think political decisions have been monetized. Say that a certain MP, first-time MP, unajua ana pesa, and these people need money. So because the money that we are giving them with the citizens, wakikuja pale on the ground, we are the same people who are still borrowing money and asking money finances from them. So as you see, ukilipa MP, unaangalia, corruption is clear in our country. You see, most of these first-time MPs, unaona wanaangalia, wanaenda empowerments, wanaenda fundraisers, sijui nini. But you find these MPs, weekly, these people are giving almost 200K each. And these people are earning less than $1 million. So that tells you there is a second force which gives them money. And you see, our parliament, I believe that it is not dependent. It is not independent. I believe that there are some extrinsic forces outside parliament who are in control of this parliament. I think it's high time, in between now and 2027, we Kenyans, let us think beyond our MPs, let us reason beyond our political parties, let us think beyond our communities. We have to save our country. I believe, for me, I know that we have the best president, but there is a problem with the people whom we the people are electing. Yeah.
President Ruto came out very boldly also to call out these MPs. They're saying that they are corrupt. He also, out of that, he formed the Matwa committee, as you said.
Yeah.
But do you think, if the High Court found this Matwa unconstitutional, then which other options now does William Ruto have now to fight these corrupt MPs, such that he doesn't also lose their support? Because he needs their support, yes, to pass bills, but there's a very thin line now between having their support and buying their support. How does he now be able to fight these few people that he believes are corrupt among the MPs?
You know, our constitution is very clear on the fight against corruption. We have independent agencies like EACC, DPP, DCI, who are supposed to do the fights against corruption. But you see, all these institutions have been compromised politically. They have been compromised politically because you see, the richest people in this country are politicians, and these people are influencing who is being given that position to be the head of DCI, to be the head of the EACC. So there is no way I can give you that position to be the head of EACC, then at the same time you can come and fight me. So I think in future there should be a clear way in which EACC are being appointed. I think it should not be the president, because the moment the president appoints, there are some people who are influencing the president. For instance, when you have a president, you know there are people who are in corridors of power. We have powerful MPs, powerful senators, powerful governors, and powerful business people who are influencing these positions. So there is no way the head of the EACC atakuja back and arrest maybe a member of parliament. It cannot work. It should be independent, but I do not think the president should be the one appointing the same people. For me, I think the head of EACC should be appointed by the judiciary.
Yeah. And also now still in the same parliament.
So that it cannot be the work of the president who will help in finding out who has stolen money, who has done, and at the same time using DPP to prosecute these people. For me, I think it should come from the judiciary, so that it should be just within the judicial system. So they should be the ones who are finding out who is the corrupt person, and the same people who are prosecuting. Yeah.
Because a lot of people are saying that if the judiciary now through the High Court terminated or found this Matwa to be illegal, then they can interpret it being as sabotaging the president or sabotaging the executive, in that if the executive is trying to put the parliament in order so that they be able to unroot these corrupt leaders, but the judiciary comes out and says that this is unconstitutional, then do you think that it's like they are weakening the executive's initiative?
You see, Ochino, we have system in this country. Like I've just told you, EACC, DPP, DCI. There are systems as per our constitution who are supposed to do their job. The problem is not the people. It is the system. And at the same time, these people are being influenced politically. You see, there is no way. I find it's so difficult for these people to function normally, because ukiangalia kitu kama MAT, I have told you, it was formed by Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. It is just the President William Ruto who is trying to do the implementations of the requirements or roles and functions of the MAT. But at the same time, the same court inakuja inasema it is unconstitutional. But for them, as per the constitution or as per the law, anyway, it is unconstitutional, because already we have existing agencies who are supposed to do these fights against corruption. So the president maybe amejaribu kuja kuangalia, let me have, because ukiangalia the composition of that MAT, it is a constituents of, they have picked people from KRA, some people from EACC, the national government, head by the Attorney General, who will be the secretary. then wame pick some people from different agencies. So you see, I think we are not doing anything which will be substantial, because you see, if you pick somebody from EACC, they have already been there and they have not done what they are supposed to do. So I think what we need to do is that we ensure that EACC, DPP, DCI are just doing what they are supposed to do.
Yeah. So in the same parliament now, we are seeing that there's some parliamentarians who have now come together with an ideology. They're calling themselves Kenya Moja or Kenya Mpya. The likes of Babu Owino, the likes of Edwin Sifuna, and they're saying that they're about a collection of 50 MPs who they believe they are sharing the same ideology, though they're from different parties, from ODM, from UDA, and other parties that are there currently.
Actually,
in
there are 5.
Parliament. Yeah. For you as a political analyst, why do you think there's a sudden realignment of this section of MPs?
Unajua Osotsi, ndama ikizaliwa na ishibe maziwa inaanza kukimbia kidogo kidogo. So you see these guys, maybe they have just a small amount of money yenye inaweza wasaidia kukimbia. But you see the political matrix of this country, they are extremely difficult. And hii wanajiita the third force of Kenya, ama sijua wanajiita aje, ama Kenya One. You see, Third Way Alliance ilikuwa hapo ikiongozwa na Ekuru Aukot. They tried to form that movement, but haikuenda anywhere. You see, politics of this country is more of tribal, and I do not know the moment that we are going to leave that tribal way of thinking, of choosing our politicians. They are a good force, but with the political currents that we have as a country, they are not viable. Now afiki anywhere. Yeah.
So now that everyone is pointing fingers at this parliament, this current 13th
ukiangalia kwanza somebody like Wamuchomba, if you see Wamuchomba anywhere, that Meli is dead on arrival.
Why will you say that? And she has been lauded as being one of the leaders wenye walisimama na justice in parliament.
Nimeangalia, unajua somebody like Wamuchomba, she doesn't go anywhere to win any. Unajua anaangalianga the politics of that country, and we can bet today if ataka hapo until 2027 I'll give you something. Hawezi fika hapo. Wamuchomba juzi amekuwa William Ruto, kwanza alianza na Raila, akakuja kwa the current president kwa UDA, akawin elections, kidogo akaenda kwa Rigiji, amedivorce Rigiji, ndio hii ameenda another force, and if another force itakuja mahali kuna pesa kidogo, she'll go there. Yeye ni mtu wa optics. Yeah.
So you don't believe she supports a specific cause?
She's hardworking. Ukiangalia constituency yake amefanya kazi, but politically what she's doing a political matrix, nothing else. Yeye ni mtu mjanja kisiasa, na najua anaweza she'll go back again to the 14th parliament because of her track record pale home. But politically mali yuko yeye, utaangalia tu at long last if William Samoei Ruto will regain that love that he had in Mount Kenya, she'll be there. If Rigiji will be a man to watch in Mount Kenya, she'll be there. Yeah.
If you have a wedding, baby shower, birthday party, or even a corporate event and you need media services, well, look no further than Safari Lens Media Production. Safari Lens Media Production is a media company that offers editing, videography, photography, graphic design services, and also live streaming. So if you have any event, contact Safari Lens Media Production. And I promise you, what I deliver, they'll do you good. They are professional, they offer professional services, and I'm sure you'll also like it. So now, still on that same parliament, now we're seeing a situation whereby the UDA and ODM are now working together, and they had their first joint parliamentary group meeting
last week.
Yeah, which some people are predicting it can be like the one for Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila's time, whereby after that handshake, we saw some political casualties. The majority leaders in both the National Assembly, the Parliament, National Assembly, and also the Senate, they lost their positions, and we saw changes in leadership. The likes of Murkomen, Aden Duale, Wetangula also, they were casualties, and they were replaced by people who are aligned to Raila Amolo Odinga. Are we going to see a repeat of history now that ODM and UDA are starting to have joint PG meetings?
For BBI, there was no concrete agreement. There was nothing like the 10-point agenda. And you see, for me, I think going with the requirements of the 10-point agenda, ukiangalia kulikuwa na fights and corruption, there was no any reconstitution or realignment in political parties. So I do not think there will be changes. Kimani Ichung'wah will continue being the majority leader of the National Assembly. Aaron Cheruiyot will continue being the majority leader of the Senate. But you see, there are some people when you are on dissenting voices like Boni Khalwale. So politically, you see, there is no way I can give you a position, then you are kicking me with the same position, or using the same powers that I gave you to beat me. So I think those kind of people, maybe they'll serve the political stroke. Yeah.
So you believe this people
even Edwin Sifuna, take it from me, by December, there is likelihood that Raphael Tuju will come back as the Secretary General of ODM.
Why Raphael Tuju of all people? But
just wait.
Because he just resigned from Jubilee that
day. 3 weeks ago, Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta was in State House. Alright? Kidogo, Raphael Tuju has resigned. Kidogo, Edwin Sifuna amesumbua. Ndio ameenda a third force, third way alliance ama sijui inaitwaje. Just take it from me. Today is on 26th.
Yeah.
Yes. By December, she'll not be there. He'll not be there. Yeye atakuwa senator wa Nairobi.
But so by him not being the SG of ODM,
yes.
Do you believe now going towards 2027 will now Sifuna vie on another ticket or another party?
He can vie any political party that he wants, even as a smama independent. But you cannot underrate the force of a man enigma called Raila Amolo Odinga. Hata uko mzuri aje, my friend, you cannot. Yeah. You cannot. Edwin Sifuna chuma chake kimotoni. Yeah.
But I think you've brought in a perspective that is very interesting, the Raphael Tuju perspective, and with him coming now to be the new SG of ODM because of Uhuru Kenyatta's influence.
Yes.
Does that mean now that these three principles are working together? That
they are
is
friends.
William Ruto, Raila Amolo Odinga, and Uhuru Kenyatta.
Yes. That is why even you can see the political formation, the alignment of the executive that we have now, like the cabinet secretaries. Mtu kama the CS of IT, Kabogo, is the man of Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. Ukiangalia the Minister of Agriculture, Mutahi Kagwe, ni mtu wa Uhuru. The Minister of Trade, Lee Kinyanjui, ni watu wa Uhuru. So my friend, these guys are just sharing a cake. Ukisumbua when you are still a small fish, unachapa kichapo. So nani amesumbua kidogo, he is becoming a fickle in politics. Ana msimamo, anaruka hapa, anasema huyu jamaa anaitwa Edwin Sifuna, and he is going out of ODM. Yes.
So because he's punching above his weight.
Extremely. Yeah. Ngoja uone, ataenda by December, he'll not be there.
So yeah. Now that you've brought Uhuru Kenyatta into the picture, and politically in this country we have kingpins, and Uhuru Kenyatta has been the kingpin of the mountain Kenya politics for a very long time.
Yes.
But currently the perception of politics is that Rigathi is the one who's now the kingpin. So for you believe Uhuru Kenyatta will start being politically active with Jubilee so that they can destabilize DCP and Rigathi Gachagua in the mountain?
Ochino, politicians are friend. Even let me tell you something else. Rigathi has been in US for 6 weeks. 3 weeks ago, Oscar Sudi went to US. Right? Na I think bado yuko US, hata siko sure kama bado yuko US. Rigathi amekuja juzi. So those people 2 weeks ago they were in the same country and possibly the same county. So I believe that there must be some talks which has happened behind the curtains between Rigathi and Oscar Sudi on behalf of the president. Yes. So all these dramas that will happen are just because of me and you to own it. It is political optics for us to see. But these people are in talks. Even I believe Oscar Sudi has had a discussion with Rigathi Gachagua. Yes.
That's on behalf of the president?
On behalf of the president. Yes.
So finally, we finish this issue because it's an issue that I'm also trying to figure it out also. So if at all they had this discussion, could it be that he was being given an offer maybe by Sudi so that he can, when he comes back to the country, he doesn't ignite the political tensions that he had ignited before he left the country?
Maybe, yeah. Such a discussion. Because ukiangalia, you see Rigathi, tulikuwa tunasema ni first MP, he was impeached, and for me I do not believe with his narratives, and I do not subscribe to his way of school of thought, the way anafikiria kisiasa and how he handle politics, how he talk some things like the shares yenye ilimfanya akuwe impeached. But again, that guy is a movement, and ukiangalia the current alignment of UDA, we have around 138 members of parliament wa UDA, and around 65 are from Mount Kenya, and there is a lot of expectations in the mountain, or for me the way I think is that we are going to lose all those political positions zote. Maybe watu wachache tu watabaki, but you see majority of them are going to go more than 50. So there is no way the president can become the president, William Ruto can become the president after 2027 election and still have a minority in parliament, unless he goes and vie using ODM so that he can get some votes from Rift Valley and some from Nyanza. Number 2, Rigiji can still be a bet. Rigiji anaweza vie with, anaweza tumia the DCP apate his positions maybe 60 in parliament, you see, but the president still needs that number. So they must work with Rigiji. Yeah. And what is the problem? Even if he works with the Rigiji or Raila Amolo Odinga, what is important is for the unity of this country. We need tranquility. We need people to do business. We need the young people to work, go to school well, do business, MSMEs wa mama mboga, kijana kama yeye mwenye anafanya biashara, ufanye in a very peaceful and calm environment. So whoever will come into power, ama akuje awe in between the corridors of power, be it Rigathi, be it Uhuru, hata watu wote wakifanya kazi pamoja, there is no problem. What we want is inclusivity in our government, transformation of our country, and a sustainable development.
Yeah. Let's now shift gears and go to an issue that is affecting the Kenyan health sector, the issue of SHA. I remember you're one of the people who were championing so much for SHA.
Yes.
You are one of the people who believe that SHA model is a better model than NHIF. But now that we are here in this current situation, the biggest debate about SHA was SHA inafanya ama SHA ifanyi kazi.
SHA inafanya.
But now SHA inafanya.
Yes.
There's a scandal now that's erupting out of SHA. Some people are saying that the same situation with NHIF, that money was being allocated to non-existent hospitals, is still happening now with SHA. These such loopholes, don't you believe by now the president should have learned, or the people who are handling SHA should have learned from NHIF, or do you think it's a deliberate thing? And how does it now affect President Ruto's legacy on SHA, because he's the one who championed for it?
One, I think we believe that SHA is working. It just have some challenges. Number 2 is that SHA has registered 25.5 million Kenyans, and NHIF had registered around 8.1 million Kenyans. So that tells you majority of the people have registered in SHA. Number 2, SHA is not, ukiangalia healthcare, unajua tukiangalia health we just think of SHA or SHIF. SHIF actually is an insurance ambayo tu inafanya in level 5 and level 6 and maybe level 4 in some hospitals. But you see, there is a bigger thing which has happened beyond SHA. There is primary health insurance. There is universal health coverage, UHC, ambayo ilikuwa during the government of Kibaki, during the government of Uhuru, during the government of William Samoei Ruto. And during the government of Kibaki and Uhuru, it failed. Haikuwa implemented. But during the government of the President William Samoei Ruto, the UHC inafanya kazi sahi. Ukiangalia juzi, tumeangalia kulikuwa na UHC workers ambao waliletwa to the COVID war in 2019, but these people had not been paid in permanent and PNP, permanent and pensionable basis. But yesterday, Aden Duale announced that by September, wanaanza kuwekwa on the float of permanent and pensionable employees. And these people, those are just appreciations ambazo the Ministry of Health ikiongozwa na Aden Duale amefanya. This thing inaitwa SHA. Hii kitu inaitwa SHA. SHA, okay, wacha before niongele SHA. Kuna pesa inaitwa Primary Health Fund ambayo inafanya in level 1, 2 and 3, ambayo sahi hakuna Mkenya yote, and I just want to inform every Kenyan, when you go to your dispensary, when the sub-county hospital, you are not supposed to pay any amount of money, because primary health fund inafaa kulipia. Mahali pesa zako unaanza kulipia using now the SHIF, social health insurance fund, is actually from level 4, 5 and 6. Na level 6 kuna pesa zingine zinaitwa emergency healthcare, EHC, emergency critical care and illness fund. So hizo ndo pesa ambazo zinafanya from level 6. So SHA, the Social Health Authority, it is just an authority, ni kitu kama parastatal. Ukiangalia kitu mahali kama acha nikupea a good example. Okay, SHA ni authority, but you see under SHA kuna SHIF, which is an insurance. Kuna pesa zinaitwa Taifa Care. Kuna pesa hizo za Emergency Critical and Illness Fund. Kuna pesa zinaitwa Primary Health Care Fund ambazo zinatoka on the national government. Ile ambayo mimi na wewe tunakatwa ni SHIF, ambayo ni Social Health Insurance Fund. So most of the people now, we are in a quagmire as a country and a difficulty ambayo tunasema kuna pesa zinaibiwa. We better have stayed in the normal National Health Insurance Fund, ile NHIF, and just upgrade the system. And Rigiji alikuwa amesema that idea, but sinanga any clarity as to why we actually changed the name. But the underlying issue is that SHA inafanya kazi na there is no complaint. Hizi systems ambayo tunaangalia, unajua kulikuwa na falsification of records za wagonjwa. Kulikuwa na mtu in the old NHIF now. Kulikuwa na mtu anafanyia amputation, maybe umekatwa mkono ama miguu. So unapata mtu amekatwa 4 times miguu. And tunajua kuwa wewe uko na miguu moja. Kulikuwa na duplication of patient's name. Unapata unaenda hospitali, kuna mgonjwa mmoja unaitwa Ochino. Umeangaliwa pale Isli na at the same time kuna record inaonyesha umeonekana Mombasa on the same day. So that does not make sense. Kulikuwa na falsification of patient's record. Yani mtu unaenda hospitali, kulikuwa na some hospitals that you are being given a small amount of money like 10k, then you unakubali kuwa there is a surgery ambayo umefanyiwa. So hizo zilikuwa uongo zenye SHA inajaribu kuondoa. Zile vitu ambazo tumeangalia hospitali fulani which is in Kisii inaitwa Nyadiwa. Imepewa around 20 million. Na wanasema hiyo hospitali imeandikiwa zile procedures ambazo zimefanya hiyo hospitali, zile procedures ambayo imefanya, it is not a level. Unajua each and every level hospital kuna kitu ambayo inatibiwa in that hospital, and there is a certain procedure ambayo inafaa ifanywe in that hospital. So hii ndio hospital ambayo iko Kisii imepatikana tu in a scandal that kuna procedure imefanyika na ofucha haifai kufanyika hapo. So those are just some of the challenges. For me, I support the government 100%, but those are just the challenges ambazo the government should come out clearly, inform the people that this is the mistake which has happened. If it's true, hiyo ndio imefanyika, then it's a big mess and it's a big mistake. Yeah.
Let's now go into still on the same point as SHA, but now we're going to in another version. There's the issue of PPPs, the public-private partnerships. It's a thing that President William Ruto has been championing. He believes that this is one of the models that is going to revive most of the state corporations, most of the state parastatals. And we are seeing there have been talks of selling Kenya Pipeline. There are talks of even SHA was also to be a PPP. The Adani deal was also to be a public-private partnership. Why do you believe that there is now this approach for us to have PPPs? And do you think that is the best way to go, or should we just fix the system and things align so that we can just have the old models but we are fixing the system?
Have you ever gone to your county hospital? How are the services in a government hospital? They are not so good. Have you ever gone to Avenue Hospital, healthcare? Have you seen the services? Top notch. So, to privatize the issues, sometimes privatization should be done, but it should not be done in a way which that affect amount yenye mtu analipa. For instance, privatize a hospital. For instance, let's assume we privatize a hospital under PPP. What should happen is that kama ulikuwa unaenda hospitali yako Kiambu level 5 hospital, kama maybe unafanyiwa undressing, and undressing was at a cost of 250, if it should be privatized, it should not affect the amount ama the cost ambayo the mtu alikuwa analipa. What we need is quality services. So ukiangalia, umesema pipeline ilifaa, the president ana promise kuwa anataka ku privatize. You see, hii privatization haijaanza sai. Actually Kibaki aliuzanga shares in some of the government. Do you know that Kibaki aliuza shares in Safaricom? 35% shares. He sold shares za Safaricom. Kibaki in 2006 he sold shares of Kenyan in 2006. Kenyan around 25% shares, he sold them at a cost of 51.75 billion. Hizo pesa zilienda hapi. Nobody is questioning about that amount. Pesa ambazo shares ambazo aliuza Safaricom are more than 150 billion. Nobody has ever questioned. Kibaki nimekuambia aliuza shares za Kenyan na ilikuwa inauzwa in a procedure called IPO. IPO ni initial public offers ambayo the government can use to sell. So hii privatization ambayo the president anasema kuhusu KPL, actually I think alikuwa amesema it is IPO, inauzwa, some shares inauzwa, na sometimes ikuuzwa, so long as imeuzwa na wa ensure kuwa hizi pesa zinakuwa injected to the economy, na sometimes when you do that you reduce borrowing pesa from foreigners. So inakwanga hivyo sometimes, and it's normal play ambayo inafanyika in government na inakwanga hivyo. For instance, lastly, Kibaki pia aliuza Grand Regency Hotel akiwa na Amos Kimunya at a cost of 7 billion. Aliuzia a company called Libyan Arabian Investment Company na at a cost of 7 billion. Where is the money? Zilienda hapi. So sometimes, for instance, hii Grand Regency, if you privatize it bila kuuza, upeane tu iende ana control of an investor mwenye from a different country. One, it is going to employ so many people from our country ambao wataandikwa kazi hapa. Services are going to be good because it's a foreigner na atataka kuensure kuwa the citizens of that country are getting good services. So it is going to boost our economy because wewe ukiandikwa kazi hapo ama mimi ndaandikwa kazi utapata pesa, and we are going to get a lot of money circulating in our economy. At the end of the day we are going to generate wealth and increase our revenue. Yeah. So tusiko tunapinga sana these things. It is a practice which has been happening always. Anyone, I want to inform any Kenyan, aenda Google kitu inaitwa initial public offers, aone the companies. KBC pia iliuzwanga na Moi. Yes,
as an IPO before.
so it's shares. Ruto I think anauza some shares. Yeah. Na ki-privatize pia, it's well and good.
Sam, let's now go into the opposition politics.
Yes.
The current opposition politics, where we have the likes of Fred Matiang'i, the likes of Eugene Wamalwa, the likes of Rigathi Gachagua, Kalonzo Musyoka. These are people who are perceived now to be the official opposition leaders. But it's emerging that there's some rumors of the people who want to dismantle or to separate or to cause chaos within the current opposition. From your side, as a government proponent, are you seeing a situation whereby you can have the need to have one of the current opposition leaders supporting the government, especially towards the 2027 election? So you do believe that with support of Raila Amolo Odinga already in William Ruto's government, it's enough to secure a re-election in 2027?
Number one, Ochino, we do not have an opposition currently. The opposition are the citizens of this country. Opposition, Aiko, we do not have any opposition because the people who are perceived to be opposition currently are the weakest opposition to have ever existed in this country. The likes of Maraga at the opposition, Bwana, that's a joke. The likes of Eugene, who doesn't have even a member of parliament. Akona governor, I think akona MPs kama wawili. So haina weight. Ukiangalia mtu kama Kalonzo akona around 7 MPs, haina weight. Ukiangalia mtu Rigiji ana hata moja. Wale ambao wako naye wako political party ya the president. So the typical issue is that we do not have any opposition currently. Hatuna opposition because those guys are just jokers. Ukiangalia the like of Eugene Wamalwa is fighting for ventilation in his own political party. Anapigania hewa because the political party is almost be taken by Natembea. Yeah. So political party that we have, the opposition that we have currently are the people of this country who are doing the job that the parliament are supposed to do. The issues of putting the government on check are the job which should be done by the by the senators and the members of parliament. But these guys wote wameshona mdomo, wamenyamaza. So oppositions are me and you. If we do the constructive opposition.
Yeah. But anyway, for the public, for the Kenyans who are also political enthusiasts, the perception has always been if you're a senior leader in the country and you're not in parliament, you're not elected, you're not a minister, you're not in any active government position, you're automatically assumed to be in the opposition. And that's a lot of people are also saying that right now the political opposition kingpin is Rigathi Gachagua. It's a perception, yes, that's there. But now, from what I was telling you is that we are seeing that there's some jitters among themselves. Like for example, the issue in Malava, DCP also wanted to field a candidate there. But DAP also wants to fill the candidate there. Are these some of the signs that this current association or alliance of the leaders who are outside government, it will not last until 2027? And do you believe, if at all they break, will it be solely out of the government's influence, or will it be because out of political realignments?
You see, to be a good opposition, one, you need finance. Number two, you have masses. And you should be having the convincing power. So masses, finance, convincing power. So somebody like Rigiji, he has the convincing power. He has finance, and he has the masses. But you see, this Rigiji is carrying around 7 people. Kalonzo, who doesn't have finance, doesn't have convincing power, but he has scattered support. Eugene doesn't have finance, doesn't have the convincing power, doesn't have support. Maraga doesn't have, juzi amesema 2 million ya campaign. Yes. Doesn't have finance, convincing power, no mass. So, Rigiji is doing a lot of difficult job for the sake of these people. Amebeba watu wazee wazito kwa mabega, viziki kwa opposition. So, this formation of the opposition, it will not reach 2027. By next year, December, they'll be scattered. And I have told, just to inform you, Rigiji is planning himself. He knows he's not going anywhere with the likes of Kalonzo Musyoka. So that guy, if I could be Rigiji, mimi singeenda Malava. Maybe anaenda kutest waters yake, but kura zake akifikisha 2,000 utaniambia. Hawezi fikisha. That Malava will go with this guy anaitwa Njendi wa UDA. Ataenda nawe in very early in the morning, because you'll be having the resources, the convincing power around him, and the masses will be there. So itampea that ticket to be the MP of Malava. But the likes of Rigiji, if I could be him, I could have just focused in Mount Kenya, so that I ensure that I get Mount Kenya as a block, so that he can come and use the same numbers and the members of parliament as a bargaining power in 2027 elections.
Don't you see his attempts to...
And I think he knows. He knows.
Don't you see his attempt to field a candidate in Malava is maybe his way of trying to denote that notion that people have about him, that he's a tribal leader because he only focuses on mountain politics?
You could have focused with Mbeere North. But Malava ni kujiega aibu tu. Yeah.
You're not seeing any situation where his candidate will win?
He cannot. He cannot. Even hata na sijui na nini. He cannot. Yeah.
So finally, we are also finalizing also our sit down today. It was short, it was brief, and I hope when we call you again, you'll be able to make time. You'll be able to make time and come. Moving forward now.
Kuna kitu nataka niambie MPs. You see, we have the people who are in opposition, and they are saying they are in opposition. I want to see the likes of Wamushomba, the likes of Metho. Unajua parliament walifoma kuna something inaitwa anticipatory bail. Anticipatory bail, it is an immune, which is giving immune a member of parliament or a senator or a politician not to be arrested hata ikiwa corruption, but asikuwe arrested because ashaekelea a certain amount or kuna a certain cover, which is an immune, inaitwa anticipatory bail. Prevent from being prosecuted ama kushikwa. So if Methu is a man enough ama wa Mushomba is a woman enough, wapeleke parliament hiyo bill na wa support iwe scrapped. If they really want to be, they are fighting corruption or they are against the government. Hao watu wanatuchezea. Anticipatory bail iko hapo na ina protect politicians. Wewe ukicheza sasa unashikwa, but our politicians because of that anticipatory bail wanakuwa protected or immune. Yeah. Ushaisikia hiyo? Anticipatory bail.
Yeah, I've heard about it, but yes. I think you're still baffling me when on the issue of Muthoni wa Mushomba. That one I think also a lot of people maybe might agree with you, but you never know. People also have different takes.
Mimi sina shida na wa Mushomba. I like her by the way. Karibu niseme vitu zingine, but I like her politically. She's smart, outgoing, na ni mtu anajituma. But if wanajiamini sana, wapeleke wa scrap that anticipatory bail. These people wanatuchezea. They are friends.
Mchezo wa town.
Ni mchezo wa town, kipindi.
Sasa Nick.
Yeah.
As we finish, maybe any last final words that you might have maybe to our audience, and then we wrap.
I just want, fellow Kenyans, you see, we have a very beautiful country. And the people of this country, for any country to transform, we need two issues must match. The visionary population and the visionary leadership. Currently, the executive, for me, I believe that we have a visionary population. I believe, number two, we have a visionary leadership, especially on the executive. But on this part of the legislature, on this part of the judiciary, sometimes I find they are not that visionary to the expectations of this country. You see, for Rwanda to transform, they have a visionary leadership, but they have a population which is not visionary. The people of this country, Kenya, they are extremely visionary. But wale watu, the people whom we and you, the people, that person who is watching us, is that we are not that intentional in choosing who is becoming our member of parliament, who is becoming our governor, who is becoming our MCA. And for our country to transform, let us match a visionary population and a visionary leadership by ensuring that we get the right people in leadership, not because of the political parties, not because of the influence of the political party or leader, not because of the influence of the kingpin of any region in this country. Let us vote as a people of this country based on the personalities, based on the temperament of these people, so that we can ensure that we have people who are speaking issues which are for the